Okay, I'm recording. Now, the next is Hess law. Okay, the next is Hess law. Okay, it is must be recorded topic Hess law. Okay, obviously it is proposed by Hess law. Remember, it is based on the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. So, what is the first law of thermodynamics? The first law of thermodynamics, also known as thermochemistry, okay, is also known as thermochemistry, and which is known as commonly law of conservation. Okay, law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy means for any system, for any isolated system, its energy remains constant. For any isolated system, the energy remains constant. Means simply, what is that? In between the system and surrounding, energy transfer may takes place, but overall universe energy always remains constant. Means no one can create energy, no one can destroy energy. That is called law of conservation of energy. And based on this first law, the Hess law is predicted by person called Hess law. Hess. Okay. Now this Hess law is used to prove. Remember, it is used to prove that enthalpy. Okay. What is that enthalpy sign, beta? Enthalpy. We use enthalpy H. Okay. The enthalpy sign is what? H we use. And we know that enthalpy is a state function. Yes or not? Enthalpy is a state function. So its exact value H cannot be calculated. Therefore, we always calculate its a change. Okay. Change in enthalpy we calculate during a process, whether it is physical process or chemical process. Thus, we express the heat of reaction. Means during a chemical reaction, whether during a chemical reaction, whether heat is absorbed in the case of endothermic or whether the heat is released in the case of exothermic, the heat changes always expressed in terms of enthalpy. In terms of enthalpy, because all the processes on the earth's surface takes place at constant pressure. Okay, so according to Hess law, we are going to prove that this enthalpy value cannot be calculated exactly. Only it depends on initial and final states of the system. Means proving that enthalpy is a state function. Enthalpy is a state function but not a path. Okay, where work depends on a path. So enthalpy is a state function. Okay, and next the principle of this Hess law is what? See here, the principle is as we use, okay, as we use delta H for heat of reaction. What is heat of reaction? What is this heat of reaction? It is the total enthalpy of product minus total enthalpy of reactant. This change is called heat of reaction. So according to Hess law, it is predicted that if a reaction, listen, if a reaction takes place in single step, that is direct step, or a reaction takes place in many steps, okay, multiple steps, always the heat of reaction means the conversion of reactants may into product may takes place directly or in step by step, many steps. Always the heat involved is constant. Okay, the heat involved is constant. Hence, it is also called as, this law is called as Hess law of constant heat summation. Okay, so here, what is that? We are not only proving that enthalpy, okay, or heat of reaction is a state function. Based on this Hess law, one can calculate ionization potentials of elements, electron gain enthalpies of elements, dissociation energies of elements, okay, heat of reactions, then lattice energy, okay, and here during a conversion of reactant to product, we come across by some unstable substances called as reactive intermediates. Have you known about the reactive intermediates? So between the reactant to product, you may have transition state or intermediates like carbocations, carbanions, carbon free radicals, like that you get. Is that clear? So these intermediates are less stable. They are less stable, short-lived. So the isolation, separation of these intermediates will become difficult. So how much of heat involved in the formation of these intermediates can be calculated by using Hess law of constant heat summation. Okay, so if it is done as experiment, that experiment is called as Born-Haber cycle. So I hope you know about this Born-Haber cycle. You have seen the Born-Haber cycle in the chemical bonding for the calculation of lattice energy of NaCl crystal. Okay, when 1 mole of crystal is formed, certain amount of energy released. Okay, is called lattice energy. So this is what we learn from Hess law. So what is Hess law? Whether a reaction, whether a reaction takes place in single step or several steps, means multi-step, always heat of reaction is a constant. Okay, so for this I will take one example. See here, say a reaction, and it is very important for JEE mains or NEET or any competitive exam, and very important for IP. In thermodynamics, in IP for 4 marks, it is regularly asked. Okay, regularly asked. So like in states of matter, how kinetic molecular theory always comes. So this Hess law also always comes in the form of 4 marks or maybe in the 2 marks. It's a regular question in the IP. So you have to learn. Okay. So now consider a reaction. Okay, a reaction. Now the reactant is A. The reactant is A. If this reactant, listen here, if this reactant give the product D, Okay, if it is direct step, that is say single step. It is called a single step. The change is occurring in a single step directly. So for this reaction, the conversion of A to D, maybe heat is absorbed or heat is liberated. Okay, if it is absorbed, endothermic. If it is liberated, that is exothermic. Whatever it is, we don't want that. For this change, let heat of reaction. Okay, heat of reaction is delta H1. Okay, the conversion of A to D directly in single step, let the heat change is delta H1, or in same, or the same A will convert into D but in several steps, means indirect method. Means this A first changing into B and B changing into C, then finally the C changing into D. So here A to D is direct single step. So tell me beta, now here you please give me answer in chat box. So this A to B, B to C, then C to D, is it direct process? No, it is several steps. It is not single. It is several steps or multi-step reaction. Is that clear? It is a multi-step reaction. Okay, whatever it is, whether a reaction takes place in single step or multi-step. Okay, so the first one is single step direct. The second one, this path is what? Multi-step. Say it is indirectly. It is what? Indirect step. Okay, so here whether it takes place, A conversion into D takes place in single step or several steps, always heat of reaction is a constant. Now say in the second part, that is multi-step reaction. Say each reaction or each conversion involves some heat changes. A to B, let it heat changes Q. Okay, for first step A to B, Q1. For B to C, some more heat change. Let it Q2. Next, C to D. Okay, this is third step and heat involved is Q3. Okay, Q3. So here, see here. Now, what is the total heat change? Total heat change in the second part or this indirect step, which is multi-step. Let the heat change is, it is the sum of, okay, I'll write here. It is the, sorry, it is the sum of, let it is delta H2, delta H2, because, see here, delta H2, because for direct step we have taken delta H1, for indirect which is occurring in many steps. So now we'll sum out all the Q1, Q2, Q3 will be equal to delta H2. So this is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. This is for what? Indirect. Indirect. So what is Hess law? Whether a reaction takes place single step or several steps, always heat of reaction will not change. It will always remains a constant. Means here this reaction occurred in single step A to D directly or A to B to C, C to D indirectly, but reaction product is same and the heat change is also same. Means here the heat involved in the direct step is delta H1 should be equal to the heat involved in the indirect step, that is occurring in the several steps, should be equal to each other, should be equal to each other. Okay, understand? Means here this delta H1 is equal to, delta H2 means is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. So if you want to calculate any of them, okay, any of them you can calculate. It is called as Hess law. Understand? It is known as Hess law, indicating that here delta H is enthalpy of reaction, means heat of reaction is a state function. Always depends on initial and final state, but not the path of the reaction. The first is direct path, second is indirect path. So enthalpy is a state function but not path function. So for this you want one example. Now I'll explain one example. Okay, you have two examples in whole book. Okay, one is in chemical bonding you learn, and here as I told it is coming for, it will come for just 4 marks. Okay, 4 marks. So for 4 marks, how much you write? Tell me beta, how much you have to write for 4 marks? You have to write answer up to only 1 page. Beyond 1 page, you can't write, because if you write more than 1 page means it takes lot of time, waste of time. Okay, so in 1 page you have to concise it. So see here, now see here, say here reaction is formation of CO2, formation of CO2, formation of CO2. Okay, लाइट आ रहा है यहाँ पर, यहाँ लिखेंगे. Okay, the reaction is formation of CO2 from, okay, from graphite, okay, or say coke, which is in a graphite state. Okay, so see here, now this is what? Direct step. In the direct step, what is that? Graphite, carbon graphite is burnt in air. Okay, then you get here CO2 gas. And what is this reaction? CO2 is formed, formation. The whatever heat is involved is called heat of formation of CO2. But luckily what? Here when one carbon element combines with O2, you got CO2. So it is not only formation reaction, at the same time here the carbon element is burnt in oxygen to give carbon dioxide. So it is also called as combustion of coke. combustion of coke. So this reaction is formation of CO2 and combustion of coke. So for this reaction, the heat change, let it delta H1. First part direct. The delta H1 is minus 393.5. Okay, 0.5 kilojoules per mole. Okay, for the formation of 1 mole of CO2. 1 mole of CO2 or for this 1 mole of coke. The heat released is 303.5 kilojoules. Now same reaction can take place in two steps. The first is single step, second is a multiple step. So here the same reaction can be taking place in a multiple step. Okay. So here see, it is the first one is single step. Here in second, which is multiple, I'm writing A and B. A and B. So say what is that? Say what is that? The first coke, okay, graphite is burnt in air. Is burnt in air, which is half O2, okay, gas. Then you get here water. Half O2 means you're not getting a CO2. You get carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. But you are preparing what? CO2. If you get CO2 directly, that's single step. But here the coke is giving a CO partial step. Okay. So let this is Q1. This is Q1. And here the heat is 28. Sorry, here the heat is 110. Okay. Heat is liberated. That is 110. Okay. Approximately it is 110. Okay. 110 kilojoules. 110.5 is there. 110.5 kilojoules. Now, what do you want? CO2. Now, take this CO2 like A to B, B to C, C to D. Like that, the CO once again combines with oxygen. Okay, burnt in oxygen, then you get CO2. Then you get CO2. And for this, the heat changes. Let it Q2. Let it Q2. So Q2 is here it is minus. Here it is minus 283.0 kilojoules of heat is involved. So now see how you get the CO2 formation from coke beta. How you get CO2 formation from coke beta? The previous one is direct step. Directly coke to, that is coke or graphite to CO2. Single step. The total heat is 393.5 kilojoules. But in multiple step, what is that? Second part. First step gives graphite or coke to carbon monoxide. Okay. Heat liberated is what is 110 kilojoules. And second step is what in this multiple? CO changed to CO2, for which heat liberated is minus 283.0 kilojoules. So when you sum these two, the heat involved in A and B, that is Q1 and Q2, you will get heat equal to whatever it is released in the one step or direct step reaction. So here, the simple calculation, this is, so according to Hess law, according to Hess law, what is that? Whether a reaction takes place in single step, whether a reaction takes place in a single step or the reaction takes place in a multiple step. Okay, multiple step. Always the heat of reaction must be same. So in the direct step, the heat released is delta H1. Let it, the heat released is or heat involved is delta H1. And in multiple step, the heats are given as Q1 and Q1 and Q2. So now sum this Q1 and Q2. Okay. So Q1 and Q2 are what? These are involved in multiple step. That is path 2. Delta H1 is a direct path. Now we'll substitute. We'll check. So what is the energy in the, what is the energy released in the first step? Minus. See here, energy released is minus 393.5 kilojoules. Now this should be equal to sum of these two small steps. So what is this one? Q1 itself is negative value. So minus, what is this one? Minus, it is minus 110.5 plus, okay, because Q1 plus Q2. Itself Q1 was minus, therefore I kept minus. Now plus Q2. What is Q2? Minus, see here, minus 283.0. The whole thing is in kilojoules. So plus into minus, minus. So I'll remove this plus. Now see, this is what? Okay. And everyone knows that when you have minus minus, when both are minus minus, so what do? Add. Okay. Both are minus. Minus 1 minus minus 1 plus minus 1 minus 1. What is the answer, beta? Minus 1 plus minus 1, minus 2. Yes or not? Minus 2 plus minus 3, minus 5. Like that, when you sum this, when you sum these two heats of small step of multiple path, what is that? It will be equal to minus 393.5, okay, of which is also here also minus 393.5 kilojoules. Means what? The first one is indicating heat released in the single step. The second one is in the multiple step. So what is Hess law? Whether a reaction takes place in single step, that is direct, or in several steps, that is indirect path. Okay, whatever it is a path, heat of reaction, enthalpy of reaction is always constant. Mean it depends on path, but not on the, it depends upon the state. Okay, it depends on the state, but not depend upon the path. Always remains a constant. So proving that enthalpy, heat of reaction is a state function, but not a path function. Okay, so this you have to write in the IP, and this will be asked many times in the even NEET and different calculations. Okay, and next. Then you can learn one more example from chemical bonding, that is Born-Haber cycle. Okay, and based on this Born-Haber cycle only, one can determine the ionization potential values of elements, electron affinities of elements, bond dissociation energies of elements. Okay, and next see beta here. Shall I explain one problem? Hello, shall I explain one problem based on bond dissociation? Shall I explain one problem? Yes. All of you, see, yesterday I explained the bond dissociation energy. Okay, always atomization, enthalpy of atomization, enthalpy of bond dissociation will be endothermic. Okay, okay. So we'll see one calculation for the bond dissociation. Very interesting problem that will be asked definitely. Definitely it will be asked. Okay, you have to learn that. You have to learn that. Okay, I will explain that. कहाँ गया किधर है अभी तो नहीं मिल रहा. Okay, page number, anybody please, page number. I'm not getting that. Page number. ऐसे ही होता. That is methane and ethane. CC bond enthalpy is asked. If you see, please tell me that question. I'm not getting that page number. Hello. Anybody, please? I'll stop the video here.